If you've been praying for some build time on the Ruckus, today's your lucky day. This will be the last mod that I ever do to this bike. By the way, sometimes people get upset that I call the Ruckus a bike, even though it's, I feel like bike is an all-encompassing term for a transportation device on two wheels, but this Ruckus is getting the final mod that I ever do to it before selling it. I told you guys a few videos ago that I was selling the Ruckus and the MT09, and there was one more mod that I wanted to do on the Ruckus, and that was new levers, a new master cylinder for the front brakes to try to fix the brake issue that I have. So I think there's air getting into the lines, and I'm pretty sure it's getting in at the master cylinder. I'm not positive. If this doesn't fix it, then maybe we'll do a couple more mods. What it's also gonna do is make it look a little bit better. I have a nicer lever setup that's gonna go with it. And with that air getting into the lines, it makes it so that every time I go to use the front brakes, I have to pump it a couple times to get full pressure. For some reason, it's gotten better over time. So usually, even if I don't pump it once, I still get good pressure. It's just that it doesn't feel like really solid front brake pressure. So hopefully this is gonna fix it. So here's what I've got. This is the Addalin Brake Kit. And there's a couple different options that you have for it, whether you wanna run your master cylinder on the left side, right side, both sides, if you wanna run a disc brake in the rear, and then you'll have a perfect setup for whatever you do on your bike. Comes with the left lever, right lever, and whatever pairing of brakes that you have. So let me just get these unwrapped real quick. So here we have the full Addalin kit. Everything is machined. All these parts look super, super nice. You can see the quality difference. Yeah, so here is the new one and the old one. Now the old one actually kind of matches the look of the bike a little bit more, just because it looks a little bit more antique, rustic. These are terrible words. Classic. The look I was going for on the bike was a little bit more retro, and these definitely look more modern than what I have on here, but it looks a lot nicer. So what we gotta do first is just drain the old brake fluid out of there. Speaking of which, I don't have any brake fluid. I'll have to go pick up some more. Drain the fluid out, take off the previous setup. We are leaving the lines. Shouldn't be that hard of an install. Might take a little while because now I gotta go to the store and get brake fluid, but yeah, shouldn't be too bad. By the way, I'm sure a lot of you will notice there's just a bolt stuck through here right now. Back when I was filming the exhaust comparison video that I put out a few weeks ago, I realized that I had a bolt missing on this caliper. And so it was basically just hanging off of the one bolt down here off of the adapter. I just got this stuck in right here right now. It's not tightened at all. I'm gonna have to order a new spacer and a new bolt for this, but this matches right now, so this is gonna do. So what I'm gonna do right now is just pull the rest of the fluid down through the brake line, and then once we have all the fluid out, we can go ahead and remove the lever. Now, first I'm just gonna get this stuff back on here so that I don't have any of the fluid just flowing out of here, any remaining droplets and stuff like that. All right, so small hiccup. Each of the levers have a brake switch so that when you pull the brake lever, the brake lights come on. They're a little bit different on the levers that I'm putting on compared to the levers that I have on there. So on the old lever on the master cylinder side, you have these two, just like the ones that just slide on there. On the left side, it comes already installed onto the lever. So this is this one right here. On the new ones, it's pre-installed on the right side with these two like butt connector style ones. And then on the left side, I don't actually think it has one pre-installed, and I didn't order one. So this one doesn't have one pre-installed. There is a switch kit so you can install one onto it if you want to. I just didn't think about that, so I didn't order one. But what I'm gonna have to do is take off the back of the box to see how I have it connected, get them disconnected so I can remove this lever and figure out how I can set up the right side. So the right side, I think this one actually comes from the harness. So I think I'm just gonna leave this disconnected. On the one from the left side though, I actually have it connected right here with a couple butt connectors. So what I should be able to do is just disconnect both of these from the left side so I can remove this lever and then use the butt connectors from the new switch on the right side and put it into those connectors right there. That way, myself in the future or whoever buys this bike, by the way, if you're interested, I'll put a link down in the description to the page on my website where I have this bike for sale. But yeah, in case anyone wants to add a switch to this, they'll be able to do it with those wires. Got this taken care of. The plugs that were there before were a little bit too big or small for the plugs that come off the new lever. And so it wasn't quite wanting to stay in there. Replaced it with ones that fit a little bit better, and it's kind of hard to see in there, but yeah, those blue ones right there, connected and ready to go. So got the new switch wires connected here, nice and tight, and I can go ahead and remove this lever now. So now this brake switch is connected so that when I pull this lever, the brake light will go on. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put on the left side lever, get that connected to the brake cable, and then we can go ahead and put on the master cylinder for the right side. I'll run out and get some brake fluid, and then we can get that new brake fluid in there, test things out, and hopefully it's all running really well. All right, moving back over to this lever over here. First off, I'm gonna remove this. This is just for a mirror, but I'm not gonna be using this, so I'm just gonna take this off. All right, and we'll just take that off. This screws right on. We'll have to see if it's gonna, yeah, it looks like I'll have clearance on that throttle line.
Now there is a little screw to tighten this in place once you have it down, so.
Okay, I think that's good to go. All right, so kind of a lot of boring work there, but I just finished up bleeding. I did a little bit with the pneumatic brake bleeder attached to my air compressor, and then a little bit by hand as well, just kind of going back and forth. I also, I've done this before, you tie a zip tie around the brake lever. You just pull it to the grip and just tie the zip tie and just leave it there for a little while. So I did that, and it feels pretty good now. Obviously, I can't really test the main issue and problem that I had until I actually take it out on a ride, but it feels good right now. The levers look really nice. So it's really late right now, but tomorrow morning, I'll take it out for a ride, test it out, and see how it feels. All right, guys, time for a shakedown run. I kind of lucked out. I had 2 bolts. Oh, what did I just sit on? Just sat on my GoPro. Oh, wow. Have you ever gotten a GoPro up the butt? Wait. So I lucked out. I found a couple bolts that were the exact size and length that I needed. I only needed 1, but I had 2 that match and had black heads. I swapped those out. I had a spacer that I could use as well. So the front brakes are back to normal, like the mounting for the caliper. Put a ton of red Loctite on there. Brakes feel nice. I just tested them out, just rolling it in my garage. Everything is in working order and it looks really nice. So go test it out, see how it runs. Hopefully I don't die.
Alrighty, this is either gonna go really well or really badly. I will say this, my range of motion feels a lot nicer than it did before. Cross your fingers, y'all. I don't know why I wouldn't start, but you never know when things are gonna go wrong. Okay, feels good. Started right up. Okay. Ooh, those brakes feel nice. Just gonna let it warm up a little bit. Okay, let's just test it out. working. It doesn't bite. Let's check out my rear. My rear works. Okay, so it definitely works better than it did before. It is also freezing right now. Okay, like I have pressure on the first pull, so that's good. Like if I pull now, yeah, like I got full brakes, so let's go see if Mr. Fry's home. Hello. Do you like the new levers? I don't know if the caliper is also contributing to the problems, but it feels way better than it did before. I think it's finally ready for you to ride when you're ready for it.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty. Like the brakes feel a lot better, but I still get better brake feel on the second pull. I'll bleed the brakes again and see if I can get any more air out, and we'll test it out.
So let me know what you guys think of the new brake setup, how it looks. It does feel better. It doesn't completely get rid of the lack of really good brake feel that I was hoping that I would get. So I don't know if it's the line or the caliper that's just limiting that. But regardless, I got a nice looking brake setup out of it. If you're interested in buying the Ruckus, I'll put a link down in the description so you guys can see everything about it. Again, the MT-09 is for sale as well, and that's on the same page, so you can take a look at both of them. Otherwise, that's gonna be it. If you want to get any of my merch, you can get it at motonosity.com. You guys have been awesome. I've been Motonosity. Remember, life's better with horsepower. Keep life lived. And I'll see you guys in the next one.